Hello everybody, my name is Abhi and this is my first YouTube video. In this video, I will talk about three different financial instruments, namely money, Bitcoin and gold. In this video, I will cover 9 different features which in my opinion are essential to any financial instrument. The end goal of this video is to find out what is the right comparison for Bitcoin. Is it money or is it gold? The first feature on my list today is a medium of exchange. It is this feature of a financial instrument that allows humans to engage in transactions with one another all around the world. At the moment, money is the preferred medium of exchange all over the planet. Bitcoin and gold are not even close when it comes to popularity when being used as a medium of exchange. The second feature on my list today is the store of value, which essentially translates into purchasing power. It is because of this purchasing power you receive a certain amount of goods and services in return when you give away a financial instrument, be it Bitcoin, money, or gold. Now, all three of these financial instruments share this feature. However, it is important to note that the purchasing power of these three financial instruments can fluctuate from time to time. Bitcoin is the most volatile of these three, and gold is the least volatile, thus making Bitcoin more similar to money rather than gold. Now, in this third basis of comparison, I've combined two different features, that is, unit of count and divisibility. Unit of count is pretty much self-explanatory. It means whether we can count the financial instrument in terms of numbers. For example, $1, 2 bitcoins, or 3 grams of gold. Divisibility, on the other hand, means whether we can divide a financial instrument in smaller denominations to facilitate the transaction. For example, a 100-gram unit of gold can be melted and divided into two 50-gram units. Similarly, a 100 rupee note can be broken down into notes of smaller denominations. And when it comes to Bitcoin, you can own any amount of Bitcoin. You can own 736 Bitcoins, or you can own 0.000736 Bitcoins. Now, Bitcoin being the most divisible out of all three, therefore, in terms of unit of count and divisibility, Bitcoin is more similar to money than it is to gold. The fourth feature on my list is whether the financial instrument is exhaustible or not. What I mean by that is whether there is a fixed total supply when it comes to either one of these three financial instruments. Starting off with gold. Scientists have proved that gold is a byproduct of collision among the celestial objects in outer space. Therefore, gold cannot be readily produced in a lab, and hence the total supply of gold is limited. Money, on the other hand, can be produced by the central bank of a nation whenever they need it. One recent example would be the United States Federal Reserve that recently printed 40% of all American dollars that have ever been printed in their history, just to deal with the ongoing pandemic. When it comes to Bitcoin, and I'm sure you already know this, there's a cap on the total number of Bitcoins that can ever be mined. The total supply of Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million coins, and no more Bitcoins will ever be mined once we hit that mark. Therefore, Bitcoin is a finite resource just like gold, and this makes it more comparable to gold rather than money. The fifth feature on my list is the default risk factor. So let's start with money. Money is a legal tender of value that derives its value from a promise made by a legal entity, usually the central bank. Even though most countries have never defaulted on their promise involving a legal tender, but it is specifically because of this promise that money has an inherent default risk, because promises can sometimes be broken. Gold and Bitcoin, on the other hand, they do not derive their value based on a promise made by a legal entity or a central bank. Instead, they derive their value from the popularity among the general public. Therefore, once again, this feature makes Bitcoin more comparable to gold rather than money. The sixth basis of comparison is forgery. It means whether the financial instrument can be faked or forged. Bitcoin and gold cannot be faked or duplicated, neither in a laboratory nor with the help of a computer algorithm. Money, on the other hand, has often been duplicated in almost all the nations around the world. Therefore, when comparing in terms of forgery, Bitcoin is more similar to gold rather than money. The last basis of comparison for this video is durability. It means how long a financial instrument can last before getting destroyed. So let's start with gold because it cannot be destroyed. Yes, gold will not corrode, it will not catch rust. The best one can do is dissolve gold with other metals. Money, on the other hand, because it is made out of plastic or a piece of paper, it can easily be destroyed. It can catch fire or it can break down into pieces. When it comes to Bitcoin, in terms of durability, it is similar to gold and not money because once Bitcoin has been mined, it cannot be destroyed or burned. However, it is important to note that this is not the case for all cryptocurrencies, since some cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or Terra Luna can be burned.